Hi students, myself Mallikarjun Gujrati. In this video, I am going to discuss one more important chapter, your PUC first year chapter Organic Chemistry. This chapter also very important for your CET as well as NEET level examination. Now we will see some synopsis points related to this chapter. First part, introduction. Students, organic chemicals or organic compounds appear in materials like clothing, fuels, polymers, dyes and medicines. And one of the organic compound, urea, is first synthesized organic compound by Patrick Kohler. Remember this point? Patrick Kohler discovered the organic compound. This is first synthesized organic compound is that urea. Then second, acetic acid, one of the organic compound discovered by famous scientist Kolbe. And third one, methane, is given by another scientist Berthelot. Next, another one important concept, tetravalency of carbon. Students, the atomic number of carbon is 6 and its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. In ground state, its electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, but in excited state, one of the 2s electron jump to the 2p orbital. Therefore, at that time it contains 4 valence electrons. Therefore, because of this point, the carbon has tetravalency. See here, this structure shows the tetravalency of carbon. Here number of protons equal to 6, number of neutrons equal to 6. See this last structure. Here one valence electron of carbon and one valence electron of hydrogen, both are combined with a covalent bond and forms the structure. Because of this point, there is a tetravalency in carbon. Next, another point, structural representation of organic compounds. Structural representation of organic compounds. Mainly there are 3 types of structures are observed. Those are condensed structure, open chain structure as well as bond line structure. Usually there are several types of representation of structures are observed, but mainly there are 3 types. What are those? Condensed structure, open chain structure and bond line structures. See here, the Lewis structure or dot structure, dash structure, condensed structure and bond line structure formulas are the some specific types. And the Lewis structures can be simplified by representing the 2 electron covalent by a dash. Means there is a bond present between 2 electrons of a covalent bond. Thus ethane, formula C2H6, ethene C2H4, ethyne C2H2. Such structural representations are called complete structural formula or open structure formula. See here, this is structure of ethane. Here carbon has tetravalency and one of the carbon atom, it is surrounded with 3 hydrogen atoms, another carbon atom containing 3 hydrogen atoms. Next, come to the point of ethene. This is ethene molecule. There is a double bond present between 2 carbon atoms, and here it is ethyne. There is a triple bond present between the 2 carbon atoms. Similarly, these structures can also be represented by following ways. Here usually a single bond is not represented, but there is a double bond between ethene molecule of the carbon atoms and triple bond between the carbon atoms of ethine. Organic chemists use another way of representing the structures in which only lines are used. In this bond line structural representation of organic compounds, carbon and hydrogen atoms are not shown and the lines representing carbon-carbon bonds are drawn in a zigzag fashion. Means there are different type of observations for structural representation. In that, my first example, 3-methyl octane can be represented in various forms. See here, my first one structure, there is no single bond is appeared between the carbon atoms. It indicates it is one of the condensed structure. Example, 3-methyl octane. Here this one is the first carbon atom, second, third. Therefore this is the methyl group and it is present on the third carbon atom. Therefore this is also one type of representation of the structure. Next, come here. This is the second type of representation of a molecule, 3-methyl octane. See here, between carbon atoms there is a single bond is present. Therefore this is also called as open chain structure. And see here, third one, it indicates the bond line structure of particular molecule, 3-methyl octane. Here the CS3, like these groups are not mentioned, but this is the structural formula. Which one type of structure it is? This is bond line structures. Here CS3 is present, here also CS3, here CH2, CH only, CH2, 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 CH2 and CS3. Next, if you take another example, various ways of representing 2-bromobutane are. Okay, see here, definitely this is one of the condensed structure and this is open chain structure of 2-bromobutane and this is bond line structure of the 2-bromobutane. Next, very, very important concept, three-dimensional representation of organic molecules. Students, whenever you see in the three-dimensional structures, there is a three types of bonds are appeared. What are those three types of bonds? One is solid wedge and another one dashed line and another one thick lines. What they indicates? See here, this is an example. This is the structure of methane molecule, one of the carbon atom containing 4 hydrogen atoms. Remember students, if you taken this molecule on a plane of the paper, at the time these 2 hydrogen atoms, see here, this bond and this bond, means these are the 2 thick lines. If you taken this molecule on a plane of the paper, at the time these 2 hydrogen, means these 2 bonds are present or lie on the plane of the paper. These 2 bonds are lie on the plane of the paper. And this solid wedge, see here, this solid wedge, it is always present above the plane of the paper and towards the observer. See here, this solid wedge, it is always present on above the plane of the paper and towards the observer. And this dashed line, means dashed wedge, it is below the plane of the paper and away from the observer. See, this is also one of the very important concept for your CET as well as NEET level examination. Next, come to the point of classification of organic compounds. Students, usually organic compounds are mainly classified into 2 types. One is acyclic or open chain compounds and another one cyclic or closed chain, are also called as ring compounds. These cyclic compounds are again classified into homocyclic or carbocyclic compounds and heterocyclic compounds. These homocyclic compounds also classified into 2 types. One is alicyclic, another one aromatic compounds. These aromatic compounds are classified again into 2 types. One is benzenoid compounds, another one non-benzenoid compounds. In that, first you see what are acyclic compounds. Remember students, these are also called as open chain or aliphatic compounds, the organic compounds which contain open chain of carbon atom. Remember, the organic compounds which contain open chain of carbon atom are called acyclic compounds. What are the examples? Examples, alkanes, alkenes, etc. Next, cyclic compounds. What are cyclic compounds? Already you know, The organic compounds which contain ring chain of carbon atoms. Example, cycloalkanes, etc. Next, what are homocyclic compounds? What are homocyclic compounds? The organic compounds which contain ring structure and made with same kind of atoms. See here, homo, it indicates same. Therefore, these type of compounds are defined as the organic compounds which contain ring structure and made with same kind of atoms are called homocyclic compounds. If you take an example, cyclopropane, cyclobutane are the best example for homocyclic compounds. In that homocyclic compounds there are two types. One is alicyclic compounds, the organic compounds which have ring structure and have aliphatic properties. Remember, what are alicyclic compounds? These are the organic compounds which have ring structure and have aliphatic properties. Example for this type of compounds are cyclobutene, cyclopropene, etc. Next, what are aromatic compounds? This is also very important concept. What are aromatic compounds? You can easily define as the compounds which contain at least one benzene ring. Those are referred as aromatic compounds. In the aromatic compounds there are two types. One is benzenoids, non-benzenoids. Benzenoid compound means there is a benzene ring is present, but non-benzenoid compound means there is the absence of benzene ring but they have the properties of aromatic compounds. Next, very important, heterocyclic compounds. Students, remember, these are the compounds in which one of the carbon atom is replaced by other atoms like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, etc. What are heterocyclic compounds? These are the compounds in which one of the carbon atom is replaced by another atoms like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen. Okay, some examples are see here. For example, acyclic or open chain compounds. Okay, ethane is the open chain, therefore definitely it is an acyclic compound. Here isobutane, iso, one of the carbon atom containing two CH3 groups. Acetaldehyde, acetic acid, all these are example for acyclic or open chain compounds. Next, here alicyclic or closed chain of ring compounds. Example, cyclopropane, already we discussed about these examples. Cyclohexene, tetrahydrofuran, etc. Next, very important, aromatic compounds. See here, what are aromatic compounds? They contain at least one benzene ring. Okay, here is the benzene. This is the first member of aromatic compounds, and this is aniline, this is naphthalene, propylone. These are some examples for aromatic compounds. Next, very important, heterocyclic aromatic compounds. What are heterocyclic compounds? Already discussed. Here, one of the carbon atom is replaced by another atoms like nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen, etc. See here, this is a structure of furan. Here, one of the carbon atom is replaced by oxygen atom. Here, this is the structure of thiophene. Here, one of the carbon atom is replaced by sulfur. Here, nitrogen is present in pyridine structure. So, these are some examples for heterocyclic compounds. Next, nomenclature of organic compounds. Students, organic compounds are named on the basis of two methods: common naming system and IUPAC naming system. This common naming system is also called as tribal naming system. Here, the organic compounds are named on the basis of origin and source of extraction. Because of this point, urea is extracted from urine of the mammals. Remember, first time urea is extracted from urine of the mammals. Next, formic acid is derived from red ants. In Latin, formical means red ants. Acetic acid is one of the organic compound. It is named by extraction of vinegar, because in Latin acetum means vinegar. After that, a IUPAC naming system is formed. What is that IUPAC? International, here see, IUPAC means International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Students, While writing the IUPAC name of a particular organic compound, there are three types of words are used. One is prefix, one is root word, and another one suffix. Before going to those points, see here, there is one example. It contains, here already we told, CS3, written CS3 is one of the branched, and OH, you know, this is one of the functional group. Here Br also act as a functional group, and this one is the parent chain. Okay, there are three types of words used. What are those? Prefix, root word, and suffix. What is that root word? Remember, the part of the word which combines the prefix and suffix. Then what is prefix? It is the part of the word which comes before the root word. While writing the IUPAC name, prefix comes before the root word. And what is suffix? This is also a part of the word which comes after the root word. Definitely it comes after the root word while writing the IUPAC name of a compound. See here, some examples are given. Compound and common name. Here these are examples for common or trivial names of some organic compounds. Here CH4, this is a common name is methane. Here N-butane. What is this? N indicates normal butane. Means here 4 carbon atoms arranged in a straight chain. Isobutane, neopentane. See here, like this. These are some examples for organic compounds based on the trivial naming system or common naming system. Okay, now detailed study of nomenclature of alkanes. Before that, my first point is straight chain hydrocarbons or straight chain organic compounds. The names of such compounds are based on their chain structure and end with suffix. Remember, while writing the IUPAC name of particular alkanes, the name end with ane and carry a prefix indicating the number of carbon atoms present in the chain, except from CH4 to C4H10, where the prefix are derived from trivial names. Here some examples are given. See here, methane, molecular formula is CH4, ethane C2H6, propane C3H8. Here C3, it indicates pro, therefore name of the compound is propane. 4 means but, there is alkane, therefore the name end with ane. This is the name of the C4H10 compound is butane. Next pentane C5H12, hexane C6H14, like this. Next, branched chain hydrocarbons. In a branched chain compound, small chains of carbon atoms are attached at one or more carbon atoms of the parent chain. The small carbon chains are called alkyl groups. Okay, see here students, this is one example. Here total number of carbon atoms is 5 and hydrogen atom is 3, 4, 6, 9, 10, 12. Okay, therefore this is the compound containing molecular formula C5H12. What is this? Definitely, what is the name of this? Here you can start the numbering from here because substituent group is nearer to this carbon atom. Therefore 1, 2, 3, 4. 2-methyl butane is the name of this compound. Similarly, like this, you can start the numbering from this side or this side. Definitely here one of the prefix or substituent group ethyl group is present here, and here methyl group is present. Between ethyl and methyl, going to the alphabetical order, therefore ethyl comes first. You can start the numbering from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely 2 ethyl, 4 methyl pentane is the IUPAC name of this particular compound. In order to name such compounds, the names of alkyl groups are prefixed to the name of the parent alkane. An alkyl group is derived from a saturated hydrocarbon by removing a hydrogen atom from the carbon. Next, see here some alkyl groups, means the prefix word is used. CH4 methane, It's derived from methane. One hydrogen is removed here. Therefore, it is CH3. It referred as methyl group. This is ethyl group, propyl, butyl, etc. There are some rules for writing the IUPAC name. Already you studied in your previous classes, but remember those points again. First of all, the longest carbon chain in the molecule is identified. First to select must and should longest parent chain. Next, second one. The numbering is done in such a way that the branched carbon atoms get lowest possible number. See here, you can start the number from where the substituent group is nearer. If different alkyl groups are present, they are listed in alphabetical order, the name for the compound shown above. Okay, we already discussed about this point. If your organic compound contains two alkyl groups, then you refer and arrange the name according to alphabetical order. The numbers are separated from the groups by hyphens and the numbers are separated from the groups by hyphens and there is no break between methyl and nonene. The last previous example. Next, fourth point. If two or more identical substituent groups are present, see here, there is no different groups. If our organic compound contains similar substituent group, then the numbers are separated by commas. The names of identical substituents are not respected. Instead of prefix such as di, tri, tetra, penta, hexa, etc. are used. See here this example. Here second carbon atom also contain methyl group. Fourth carbon atom contain also methyl group. Therefore, this molecule or this organic compound contain 2 methyl group. Therefore, I can write the name of this compound is 2,4-dimethyl. Therefore, the di word is used here because it contains 2 methyl groups. 2,4-dimethyl pentane. Here 2, 4 trimethyl pentane. Because second carbon atom, fourth carbon atom as well as another second carbon atom will contain methyl group. Therefore, totally number of 3 methyl groups present here. Therefore, write the name like this. Next point. If the two substituents are found in equivalent positions, the lower number is given to the one coming first in the alphabetical listing. Once again, if the two substituents are found in equivalent positions, the lower number is given to the one coming first in the alphabetical order. Okay, this is also similar to that point. The branched alkyl groups can be named by following the above mentioned procedures. Carbon atom of one branch that attached to the root alkane is numbered 1 as exemplified below. See here, this is the one compound. It indicates 1,3-dimethyl butyl. See here, 1 methyl group is present here and 3 di. Here also methyl group 1,3-dimethyl. Okay, this also is not completed here. Therefore, this is butyl. While writing the trial names of substituents in alphabetical order, the prefix iso, neo are considered to be the part of the fundamental name of alkyl groups. See, this is already studied in your previous classes. So next, go to the example. Here one big compound structure you observed. Okay, according to the rules, first you select the longest carbon chain. Therefore, you can start the here you can start the numbering from this carbon atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you starting the number from this carbon atom, then third carbon atom containing this methyl group as well as this methyl group, and fifth carbon atom containing this big group. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and it contains ethyl group. Therefore, IUPAC name of this compound is written as 5,2-ethyl butyl 3,3-dimethyl decane. Okay, this is the right method. Cyclic compounds. Next, another concept, cyclic compounds. Compound is named by prefix cyclo. Remember students, this is very important. While writing the name of, especially IUPAC name of the cyclic compounds, the prefix word contains cyclo. Therefore, if you take an example, this one, it contains 5 carbon atoms, but it contains a cyclic ring structure. Therefore, IUPAC name is cyclopentane. Here 1, 2, 3 number is represent the carbon atoms. 1 methyl, 3 propyl cyclohexane. Similarly, this one. Nomenclature of organic compounds having functional groups. Remember how you can name the compounds contain functional group. Remember students, if your organic compound contain only one functional group, then it comes place in the suffix point. If your compound contain more than one functional group, then according to the priority you can arrange the name. What is that priority? See here. According to this point, a functional group is defined earlier is an atom or group of atom that shows the properties of particular compound. There are some examples here. CS3OH, CS3CH2OH, CS3 twice CHOH, all having OH functional group, liberate hydrogen on reaction with sodium metal. If your organic compound contain OH group, then definitely it is an example for alcohol. Therefore, the name ends with all here. You know these points well. The longest chain of carbon atoms containing the functional group is numbered in such a way that the functional group is attached at the carbon atom possessing lowest possible number in the chain. In case of polyfunctional compounds, see here, this is very important. If your organic compound contain more than one functional groups, one of the functional group is chosen as a functional group and the compound in the name on the basis. The choice of principal functional group is made on the basis of order of preference. Remember students, according to the priority only you can arrange the name of a particular organic compound. That priority is first the COH group, next SO3H group, COR, R means it indicates alkyl or aryl group, COCl, CONH2, CN, next finally double bonds and triple bond compounds. Next part, very important, isomerism. See students, when you observe the classification of isomerism, this is observed like this. Isomerism, in that there are two types, structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. This structural isomerism is again classified into usually 5 types, but here mentioned only 4 types. See here, chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional isomerism, metamerism, and also one of the tautomerism. And this stereoisomerism again classified into geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. What is the isomerism? You know students, the compounds having same molecular formula but have different physical and chemical properties are called isomers. The process is known as isomerism. Remember, the compounds having same molecular formula but have different physical and chemical properties are called isomers. The process is known as isomerism. In this isomerism concept, there are 2 types of isomerism, structural isomerism and stereoisomerism. What is the structural isomerism indicates? See here, the compounds having same molecular formula but differ in the structural formula. The compounds having same molecular formula but differ in the structural formula are called structural isomerism or structural isomers. In this structural isomerism, first point about chain isomerism. Remember, the compounds having same molecular formula but change in the chain of carbon atom. There is a change in the chain of carbon atom but they have same molecular formula are called chain isomers. If you take an example, normal butane and isobutane, these are best examples for chain isomerism. Here some examples are given. Observe here, chain isomerism. I told you definition, when 2 or more compounds have same molecular formula but different in the carbon chain are called chain isomers. Example, Organic compound containing molecular formula C5H12. Definitely C5H12 means it is pentane. Here this is a normal chain structure, means normal pentane. This is isopentane. Total number of carbon atoms is 5 and number of hydrogen atoms is 12. Therefore these two are containing same molecular formula, but there is a change in the chain of the carbon atom. This one is neopentane. 2,2-dimethylpropane is the IUPAC name of this particular compound. Next, position isomerism. See here, when two or more compounds differ in the position of substituent atom or functional group on the carbon atom or carbon chain is called, or this phenomenon is called, position isomerism. Similarly, we can easily define the position isomerism is compounds having same molecular formula but change in the position of a functional group. It's called position isomerism. If here see here example C3H8O propane 1-ol and this one is propane 2-ol. What is the difference between these two structures? See here this carbon atom containing OH group, but here the second carbon atom containing OH group. Similarly, if you write the structure of but 1-in, but 2-in, these are also example for position isomerism. Next, functional isomerism. What is functional isomerism? Compounds having same molecular formula but change in the functional group. Change in the type of functional group is known as functional group. See here. What is the example? If you take an example, ethanol and methoxymethane. These two are the examples for functional isomerism. Ethanol means it contains CH3CH2OH, but methoxymethane CH3OCH3. Both the compounds have same molecular formula, but there is a difference in the functional group. See here. Here it contains propanone. One example is propanone, another one propanol. Usually this H comes here, then only it becomes right. This one is propanone, this one is propanol. This is one of the ketone and this is one of the aldehyde. This H bond comes here. Next, another one type, metamerism. What is metamerism? Compounds having same molecular formula but change in the alkyl groups present on either side of the functional group. When you observe the structure of pentane 3-one and pentane 2-one, write these structures and observe there is a difference in the alkyl groups on a particular functional group in a particular compound. Similarly, ethoxyethane and methoxypropane are also an example for metamerism. Next, another one, usually it is also very important, that is tautomerism. This is also called as keto-enol formation. In this concept, the aldehyde ketone group is changes to alcoholic form. Next part, stereoisomerism. What is a stereoisomerism? The compounds having same molecular formula and same structural formula but differ in the special arrangement of atoms. Remember, this word is very important in presence of stereoisomerism. There is a special arrangement of atoms present in a structure. In those stereoisomerism or in the stereoisomerism concept, we observe two types of isomerism again. In that, geometrical isomerism, here compounds having same molecular formula and same structural formula, but in the arrangement of atoms around the double bond is different. There is a special arrangement of atoms present on side of the double bond. Is called geometrical isomerism. If you take an example but 2-in, it is observed in two forms. One is cis form and another one trans form. These comes in place of geometrical isomerism. And another one type, optical isomerism. In that concept already studied, the compounds having same molecular formula and same structural formula but differ in the placement of atoms due to plane polarized light. Definitely in this type of concept we observe the mirror images of each other. For example, L-lactic acid and D-lactic acid. Dextro, D indicates, dextro means right side, leo means it indicates the particular OH or different groups present on left side of the carbon atom. Next, the concept about fission of a covalent bond. Students, when you observe the fission of a covalent bond concept, there are two types of fission of a covalent bond. What are those? That is homolytic cleavage and another one heterolytic cleavage. In those points, first point is here, this is heterolytic cleavage. In heterolytic cleavage, the bond breaks in such a fashion that the shared pair of electrons remains with one of the fragments. And also you can easily define this: when a covalent bond breaks unsymmetrically, only one fragment gets both the electron. This process is called heterolytic fission, or also called as heterolysis. See here, one atom has a sextet electronic structure and a positive charge, and the other is a valence octet with at least one lone pair and negative charge. Here, in presence of this methyl bromide CH3Br, here only Br get negative charge because the electron move from this to this. And a species having carbon atom possessing sextet of electrons in a positive charge and called carbocation. The observed order of carbocation stability is CH3 plus is less than CH3CH2, CH32CH as well as CH33C. The organic reactions which proceed through heterolytic bond cleavage are called ionic or heteropolar or just polar reactions. Remember, what is heterolytic cleavage? When a covalent bond breaks unsymmetrically, at the time only one fragment get both the electrons. Next, another one, homolytic cleavage. See here, in homolytic cleavage, one of the electrons of the shared pair in a covalent bond goes with each of other bonded atoms. Thus, homolytic cleavage, the moment of single electron takes place instead of an electron pair. Means it indicates a single moment of electron. This definition is also can defined as, or simply it can defined as, when a covalent bond breaks symmetrically, at that time both the fragments get electrons. Next, another one very important concept about electronic effects or electron moments in organic reactions. Some basic points is very important here. The movement of electrons in organic reactions can be shown by curved arrow notation. Some examples are given here. Here double bond and Y component. Therefore, usually this concept it indicates from pi bond to adjacent bond position the electrons takes place. Here from pi bond means double bond to adjacent atom. Next here from atom to adjacent bond position. Remember students, moment of single electron is indicated by a single barred, also fish hook arrow mark. Moment of single electron is indicated by a fish hook arrow mark. Is that half-headed curved arrow. Next, electron displacement effects in covalent bonds. The electron displacement in an organic molecule may take place either in ground state under the influence of an atom or substituent group, or in presence of appropriate attacking reagent. Examples of this type of displacements are resonance effect, inductive effect, hyperconjugation effect, etc. First, we see about resonance structures. It is also very important. First, you know what are resonance structures. Remember students, these are the structures which individually do not show the original compound nature. See here, resonance structures, a single Lewis structure cannot explain all the properties of the molecule. Hence, many Lewis structures are proposed for some molecule to explain the properties. Different Lewis structures proposed are called as resonance. Lewis structure or canonical form of contributing structure. The phenomenon is called resonance and the structures proposed are called resonance structures. For one molecule, there are different types of structures, but the individual structure do not explain the properties of original compound. Those structures are called as resonance structures. See here, the resonance structures are also called as canonical structures and also called as hypothetical structures. Individually do not represent any real molecule. The difference in energy between the actual structure and the lowest energy resonance structure is called resonance stabilization energy or simply the resonance energy. This point is, remember, it's also very important. The difference in energy between the actual structure and lowest energy resonance structure is called resonance stabilization energy or simply the resonance energy. Next, some rules are applied while writing the resonance structures. Those are the same positions of nuclei and the same number of unpaired electrons. Next, in that my first point, resonance effect. This is also called as mesomeric effect. What is the resonance effect? The permanent polarity produced in a molecule due to the interaction between two pi bonds or pi and lone pair of electrons is called mesomeric effect or resonance effect. This is one of the easiest definition for you. What is resonance effect? Here they mentioned resonance effect is defined as the polarity produced in the molecule by the interaction of two pi bonds or between a pi bond and a lone pair of electrons present on an adjacent atom. Usually in the type of resonance effect there are two types. One is positive effect, means positive resonance effect, also called as plus R effect, and negative resonance effect, also called as minus R effect. What is positive R effect? Means positive resonance effect. Remember, in this type of effect, the substituent group shows positive mesomeric effect when the displacement of electron takes place away from it. Remember this point. A substituent group shows positive mesomeric effect when the displacement of electron takes place away from it. And negative resonance effect. In this type of effect, the substituent group shows negative resonance effect when the displacement of electron takes place towards it. And here one very important point, remember, conjugated molecules shows mesomeric effect. Conjugated molecule means they contain alternate single and double bond. And pi electrons and lone pair of electrons are involved in resonance effect. The substituent group which shows negative mesomeric effect which contain one electronegative atom with a double bond. Remember, CHO, NO2, COH group shows negative mesomeric effect, and also benzaldehyde, one of the compound, also shows negative mesomeric effect. When you observe the resonance structures of benzaldehyde, this concept is very interesting. Next, another point, inductive effect, very important, inductive effect. See here, the permanent polarity or charge produced in a molecule due to displacement of pair of electron towards more electronegative atom is known as inductive effect. See my statement once again. The permanent polarity is produced in a molecule due to the displacement of pair of electron towards more electronegative atom is known as inductive effect. And another one definition, inductive effect, the process of electron displacement of electrons along the chain of carbon atoms due to a presence of a polar covalent bond at one end to the other chain. This is one of the permanent effect. Remember, inductive effect is one of the permanent effect and it is generally represented by an arrow as shown in this diagram. Here that it shows means this symbol shows the displacement of electron from this to this to this. Here it may be noted that this effect decreases sharply as we move away from the atom involved in the initial polar bond and becomes negligible from the fourth atom onwards. It arises whenever an electron withdrawing group is attached to end carbon chain. See here, inductive effect. In that type of effect also there are two types. One is negative inductive effect, another one positive inductive effect. What is the negative inductive effect? Remember, here the substituent group shows negative inductive effect when the displacement of electron takes place towards it. And in presence of positive inductive effect, the substituent group shows positive inductive effect when the displacement of electron takes place away from it. Remember these statements and see some examples also. This is very important concept related to your examination. One simple question we want to discuss here. Formic acid is stronger acid than acetic acid. Why? Students, when you observe this question, there is an increase in the number of electron donating group, increase the positive inductive effect. Remember, increase in the number of electron donating group, increase the positive inductive effect. Is that increase in the basic nature and decrease the acidic strength. Therefore, formic acid is stronger acid than acetic acid. Next one, electromeric effect. This is also one special type of effect because it is one of the students, here electromeric effect. In that also there are two types, and special thing about this electromeric effect is this is one of the temporary effect. Remember, this is one of the temporary effect produced in a molecule due to the transfer of pi electrons of double bond to one of the bounded atom in presence of attacking reagent. Remember, electromeric effect is one of the temporary effect because it contains, or this electromeric effect happens only in presence of attacking reagent. See my definition again. Electromeric effect is one of the temporary effect produced in a molecule due to the transfer of pi electrons of double bond to one of the bounded atom in presence of attacking reagent. It is called electromeric effect. And in this electromeric effect there are two types. One is positive electromeric effect, another one negative electromeric effect. What it shows positive electromeric effect? Here the attacking reagent shows positive electromeric effect when the displacement of electron takes place towards it. And in presence of negative electromeric effect, the attacking reagent shows this type of effect when displacement of electron takes place away from it. Here, see here, this is positive electromeric effect, or also called as positive effect. In this effect, pi electrons of the multiple bond are transferred to that atom to which the reagent get attached. For example, see here. Here one of the ethene or double bond containing compound, and in presence of attacking reagent H plus changes here. Okay, this reaction takes place in presence of attacking reagent. Therefore, this is an example for positive electromeric effect. In this type of, next come here, in this effect the pi electrons, means in presence of negative electromeric effect, the pi electrons of the multiple bond are transferred to that atom to which the attacking reagent does not get attached. Next, another one type, hyperconjugation effect. This is also called as Baker-Nathan effect. Remember, this hyperconjugation effect is also called as Baker-Nathan effect. It is permanent effect produced in a molecule due to the interaction between sigma and pi electrons. Remember, there is interaction present between sigma and pi electrons of the adjacent bond. Means there is a delocalization of sigma electrons of CH bond of an alkyl group directly attached to an atom of unsaturated system or to an atom with a unshared p orbital. hyperconjugation is one of the permanent effect. Now the methods of purification of organic compounds. Before going to some methods, first we know what is purification process. Students, it is one of the technique which removes the impurities and increase the percentage of purity. This process is called as purification. Students, once an organic compound is extracted from natural source or synthesized by laboratory, it is essential to purify it because it contains some impurities. Therefore, we refer some important purification methods. Those are sublimation, crystallization, distillation, solvent extraction or differential extraction, and chromatography techniques. In that, my first point is sublimation process. Usually in this type of process, the solid substance is directly changes from solid to vapor state. Without going to the liquid state, it is used to separate the sublimable compound from non-sublimable impurities. Remember, students, in the sublimation process, there is a process takes place, direct conversion of solid form to vapor form. Next, crystallization. It is also one of the purification method. It is also based on the difference in the solubilities of the compound and the impurities in the suitable solvent. Crystallization, it is also one of the purification methods. It is based on the difference in the solubilities of the compound and the impurities in a suitable solvent, by getting the pure form in presence of a crystal in the pure form in this process. And distillation. What is distillation process? It is also one of the purification methods. In this process, this process helps to separate the impure and pure compounds based on their boiling points. Based on the boiling point, you can separate the pure and impure form of compounds. See here, this is one of the important method. It is used to separate volatile liquids from non-volatile impurities, and the liquids having sufficient difference in their boiling points. Distillation is further divided into two types. Mainly there are two types of distillation processes. What are those? Fractional distillation and steam distillation. What is fractional distillation? This process helps to separate the different components present in a mixture based on their boiling points. If the difference in boiling points of two liquid is not much, simple distillation cannot be used to separate those. The technique of fractional distillation used in such cases. And another one, steam distillation process. This technique is applied to separate the substance which are steam volatile and are immiscible with water. Next, solvent extraction or differential extraction. Solvent extraction. The process of separation of organic compound from its aqueous solution by shaking with a suitable organic solvent like ether, benzene, acetone, called solvent extraction. What is the solvent extraction? Remember, this is also one type of purification method. In this process, there is a separation of organic compound from its aqueous solution by shaking with a suitable organic solvent. Organic solvents may use ether, benzene, acetone. This process is called as solvent extraction. Okay, students, and in the previous year you've already studied about some quantitative as well as qualitative analysis methods. So please go through the points which are already studied. Here some formulas related to some important techniques or methods is mentioned. Know the formula and remember it. Particularly this one is Zelda's method. This Zelda's method, by using that method, you can estimate the percentage or amount of nitrogen in a particular given compound. Next, remember this formula. Weight of nitrogen in the soil digest, or this one technique or one problem. At the time use the formula 14 into A minus B. Previous and after the experiment contains indicates nitrogen divided by 1000. and Dumas method formulas are given here. Go through the formulas and please remember this, because in the exam one question is based on this concept only: volume of nitrogen at STP P1V1 into 273 divided by 760 into T1, and percentage of nitrogen. Finally, you remember this formula. This is related to the Dumas method. And Lebig's method. Usually by using Lebig's method, you can calculate the percentage of carbon and hydrogen present in a given compound. And Dumas method, it also helps to estimate the amount of nitrogen in a given compound. And another one, Carey's method, detection of amount of halogens present in a organic compound. This method is used for estimation of chlorine present in a compound. Use this formula. And estimation of bromine in a given compound, means organic compound, at the time use this formula. And in presence of iodine, so this is the formula. But finally, students, in this concept, means in organic chemistry, please concentrate on the carbocations concept and free radicals. Next, formulas related to the some qualitative as well as quantitative methods like Jalda's, Dumas, Lebig's, etc. And also see the particular examples for purification methods. Thank you.